Go. They're coming. They said go.
That is some of the video we are just now seeing from the night undercover St. Louis officer Luther Hall was arrested, then beaten by fellow officers.
News 4's Chris Nagus is following the federal trial from the downtown courthouse.
Jurors started their day at the federal courthouse here in downtown St. Louis, but quickly left for a short field trip to 14th and Olive. That's the scene where Luther Hall was arrested and assaulted in September 2017. A generator was even set up at the site to mimic conditions the night of his arrest. Now, today, attorneys for Officer Stephen Cordy and Officer Dustin Boone questioned Luther Hall on the stand. Cordy's attorney challenged Hall's recollection of how he was injured on the night in question and tried to demonstrate his statements to medical personnel were inconsistent with his testimony. Hall said he had no independent recollection of seeing Stephen Cordy at the scene the night of the assault. Cordy's attorney challenged Hall about why he didn't reveal to federal agents that he was obtaining information from friends within the police department about officers that allegedly assaulted him. Dustin Boone's attorney only questioned Hall for a few minutes and said, "You were knocked to the ground from behind." Hall agreed with that description, and at that point, Boone's attorney had no further questions. Heather Taylor is with the Ethical Society of Police. She's been monitoring the testimony all week. I asked her what she thinks about the notion that Hall could not recall Stephen Cordy being present the night he was arrested.
I think that's normal. If you're getting beaten from behind and you're on the ground and you go to the ground and you're being assaulted, that what happened is that you had officers trying to find out who were these other officers because they didn't trust the internal affairs to do it. That's who should have been trying to find out who these other officers were involved in a brutal beating of one of your fellow officers. So his attorney saying that, oh, you couldn't identify, well, that's fine. A lot of times that happens. I was a homicide supervisor. So, you're talking about investigatively, that's not something that's alarming to me. Well, he's on the ground.
On Thursday, jurors saw photos of Officer Hall's injuries the night of the assault. He testified that he was beaten so badly his jaw muscles were inflamed to the point where he couldn't eat solid food for weeks and lost 20 pounds. It was emotional testimony. Testimony in this case will resume next week. Of course, stay with News 4 for continuing coverage of this trial. Chris Nagus, News 4.